Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I am Christy VANN with the VANNtastic Finances for your money. Oh my goodness. Listen, guys, if you own the Money Max system, if you own AI for your money, you can go for additional training tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 7 p.m. Central Time. You can go directly to the university. So Money Max University, they're going to be having a live stream tonight for you guys who already own the automated system. Okay, so feel free to join if you have questions about your system. They will answer those questions tonight. Okay, this is Monday. So feel free to join tonight. Like I said, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time. Okay. Now, if you do not own the Money Max system, if you do not own the AI for your money, the automated velocity system, you can join me live on Thursday night. This Thursday night, I changed updates on you guys. I'm sorry. So if you have been sending me the email for being able to attend the Thursday night session, feel free to join me. Okay. So again, that changed from this Tuesday, tomorrow, until Thursday, February the 12th. So that's this Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time. And you can see a demo of the system if you haven't seen it before. All right. So we're doing that live stream for people who do not know what this Money Max system is. All right. So again, if you own the Money Max, you can join tonight if you need additional training or you have questions about your system. That's tonight at the Money Max University on YouTube, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time. Okay. Just wanted to let you guys know because I do not want you in anything that you are not using. That's what we teach on this channel is strategy. So the strategy using that automated system is different from doing the manual velocity banking. All right. So again, I don't want people to be buying into a system that they're not going to use or that they don't understand how to use. So if you're an owner, this training tonight has been set up for you. I want you to show up if you have questions about your system. I'm not a fan of buying into something that I quit using because I don't understand it. I am you. I get aggravated and it's angering to me if I have bought something that I don't understand how to use. I don't want you in that situation. So please, one more time, if you are an owner of the Money Max system, join the Money Max University on YouTube tonight to ask your questions. I believe that they even set up one-on-one calls from that point. If you still don't understand after that training is over tonight, they are going to answer the owners of Money Max. They're going to answer your questions tonight. Again, if you've never heard of the Money Max, you don't understand what that is, feel free to join me and Emily on Thursday, February the 12th, 2026 at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time. And if you want to go on and get your link for that meeting Thursday night, you'll go to VANNtasticfinances.com/max. And we're going to show you the system. We're going to show you a demo of what it looks like, how it works, and we may even run some numbers on there. It's just a short meeting. 20 to 30 minutes to see this demo, see if it's something that you even think that you would want to use. Again, it's AI for your money. I'm not a fan of AI really, as far as I don't really know how to use that, but the Money Max is elementary. Okay. And if you can't get a line of credit, if you're self-employed and you have a bunch of stuff and you can't get a line of credit due to how you file your taxes, the Money Max system can still work for you. Okay. That's why I went out looking for something that was going to help people that had the really low credit scores, that had the high DTIs, and you just cannot get approved through a bank for a line of credit. Money Max can most of the time help anyone to accomplish very fast debt elimination by eliminating interest, and it shows you exactly what to do with every dollar that you bring into your household. So if you are interested in a system that lays everything out for you elementary style, so that you're not having to figure out how to do these transfers back and forth, or if you don't even have the line and you couldn't do the transfers if you wanted to, this system can help you. Okay. But that is Thursday. New people that you've never heard of this, Thursday is your night if you want to see how that system works, the demo, and get your own free personal analysis. Now, I don't bring anything to you that I have not already tried. I'm going to be out loud and proud about that. I own the Money Max system. Okay. Now, if you are interested in something that works out these numbers for you, it's just math, then you will need to join us Thursday night to see what that looks like. At that point, during that meeting on this Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, if at that point you want a free personal analysis, we will show you what your actual numbers look like in the system. Okay. If you're going to do a free analysis with the Money Max, you have to know your numbers, just like you do if you're going to do velocity banking. But I am super serious about you knowing what you're stepping into and knowing that you're going to use it. That's why we do all of this free stuff before you ever think about buying into something like this. If you don't understand how it's going to work for you and how to use it, you're not going to use it at all. That's just human nature. If I don't understand something, I'm not going to use it. That's why it took me forever to get into becoming my own banker with the infinite banking concept, is because I didn't understand it for years and I didn't want to use that. So the idea of the VANNtastic channel is to get you educated on the options that you have. Once you look at it, once you see what your numbers look like in it, then have at it, buy into it. But for goodness sake, do not pay for anything that you know or are not sure that you're going to use or be able to use. Again, that's why that we're offering the free training on Monday nights for people who already own the system, because I can look in my back office and see you guys that are signing into your system or not. And so I checked this out on Friday. I was looking in my back office and I saw several are not logging in since November. That tells me that you're not keeping your system up to date. I don't want you confused about what this is. I want you to understand that once you have bought into the Money Max, that's a lifetime system for you. Free upgrades. It's beautiful. But if you're not using it, you have wasted your money. And I don't go for wasting money. So I've gotten with the Money Max team. They're offering these free trainings, free updates, free question time that you can go in and ask the questions about why you're not using your system and get those questions answered, whatever your reason is. Okay. So I'm completely being transparent. I do not want you buying into something you're not going to use. That's just foolish. And I'm telling you, if you own it and you're not using it, show up tonight and tell them why you're not using it and let them help you through that. Because if you're an owner of Money Max, that is the fastest way to get out of debt on this planet that I'm aware of. It's elementary. So you need a little bit more information, maybe, or maybe, something doesn't calculate in your mind about how you're using this. Please get that training and do not let that system sit there where you're not using it. That's a waste. I know it will work for you if you have your numbers updated and they're in there correctly. Okay. So all of that being said, I want to be your friend with finances. I don't want you to get in deeper trouble doing anything. And that's why we have video after video after video up on the VANNtastic channel, is so that you can see how to use a line of credit in different scenarios. But like I said, if you cannot get approved for a line of credit, it kind of, makes you stand still. And I don't like standing still. So when I had clients that had the low credit scores, weren't able to access their equity in their home through a home equity line of credit, weren't able to get a personal line of credit, I know that that really makes velocity banking stagnant. So I went out looking for something that could help people that were not able to work with the bank as far as they wouldn't approve you for what you're looking for. So when I went out looking, I found a link that was talking about, fast debt elimination. So I scheduled my own appointment with a Money Max representative. I talked to them. They showed me the system. And I said, okay, so I have a client and I was working with this guy in Texas. He could not get a line of credit. They would not look at him. So I said, if you can help this client, then I'll start talking on my channel to people about the system so we can help everybody and not just the ones with the good credit and the home equity that can do velocity banking, right? So had I known about this system back when I first started, I absolutely would have done it because I could not get any lines of credit. So I had to start at the very bottom using a very small, totally maxed out credit cards. And guess what? It worked for me. And guess what? I didn't pay a guru to teach me how to do it. But it took me some time to build my credit up, to get my debt down so that I would, or so a bank would even look at me. So with the Money Max, you don't have to worry about that part. What you need to worry about is that you understand what it does and that you're using it. I just wanted to come on here and vent about that because it's so important that you're being diligent in your finances, whether that be using velocity banking with a line of credit, whether that be using Money Max, whether that be using the debt blaster, whether you're using the snowball method, whatever you're using, you have to be diligent in that because you've got to get your debt under control because you are wanting the peace of mind that comes with that. So I am here to help you hopefully get through the muck of debt. All right. And there's options, but I want you to choose and use whatever is best for you. So, that being said, if you have bought into the Money Max, I want you to attend that Money Max University on YouTube tonight, 7 p.m. Central Time, so that you can learn why you're not using your system. Or if you have a question, that you can ask the question there. But if you've never heard about the Money Max and you want to see what AI for your money means, then join me and Emily on Thursday night, the 12th of February at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. California time. Okay? And we'll show a demo. We'll talk a little bit about it. Like I said, 20-30 minutes is not going to take long for you to sit in there and kind of see the system. And then if you're interested in how it's going to look for your own numbers, then we'll get you scheduled for an actual one-on-one coaching session so that they can put your numbers in there. They can do an analysis of how quickly you can be out of debt using that system. And then you'll know if it's something that you really want to do or if you want to turn around and walk away. And please, before you make any bad decisions about anything you're going to buy into, walk away first and think about it. Okay? We're not here to sell you something. We're here to get you answers for what you need. That's my only desire. Okay? All right. I'm going to see if you got any questions right quick, and then I'm going to jump off of here. I am going to do this membership video probably when I sign off of here, because I know people are waiting on that. Hello, we got Utah in the house, Northern California. Hello, Florida. My goodness, you're all over the place. Awesome. I recently found you through my feed. Your message of financial freedom is interesting and inspiring. I am a slow learner or really a hands-on or visual person. I'd love to learn more. That's exactly what I am. I'm very visual. Hands-on is how I learn fastest. But when I saw the first velocity banking video, it was on, because I knew that worked. It was just math and it made so much sense to me. So keep watching videos and keep learning because you're going to get excited. Oh my goodness. I applied for a line of credit at my local credit union. It wasn't prepared for having to have a property value assessment. $580. Yes, to get an appraisal on your property, they do charge the appraisal fee, and that's somebody that comes out to your house and appraises your property. Okay, so the banks will need that. Yes. Made it to a live. Just Jesse. Hello. Will they provide costs for this software? Yes, during your personal analysis, they do give you a quote on what it will cost you to buy into the system based on your debt. Okay. Now, that being said, if you have no homes, if you have one home, or if you have 13 homes, there's going to be a different cost. Okay. But I will tell you this, it works faster than velocity banking. So all day long, anytime we have somebody that buys into the system, if they're using it, that's so important. If you're using it, it's been known to knock at least 20 years off of a mortgage. So when you compare the cost of Money Max to the cost of any closing costs you would have on a home equity line of credit, you know which one's higher? The HELOC, the home equity line of credit. Why? Because one, if you're going into the first lien, it's about the same cost of buying into Money Max with the closing costs. Okay. Two, we have to keep paying interest on that line of credit as long as we have a balance on it. Money Max is a one-time buy-in. The lines of credit cost us interest. Money Max is an interest eliminator. So you can't compare. I mean, you're talking about something that over a 5 or 10 year period may cost you in excess of 30,000+, but it still can save you decades on your debt elimination from where you stand currently. Money Max can still eliminate decades of monthly payments, but there's a one-time buy-in for life. That's free upgrades, and they've been around for 20 years. So this is just something, the Money Max, you don't get to hear about every day, but it has excellent ratings, and it is a proven source for debt elimination. Okay, so that being said, let's see what else we got here. My credit score has increased 17 points. It's only been 2 months doing velocity banking with a credit card. Awesome, Cosmic, awesome. Be sure to keep that credit utilization below 30% because I had my credit card using velocity and it stifled or slowed down my credits. Oh my goodness. Dan, I'll say, I never have had my credit cards at below 30%. Oh my gosh. You guys that are so worried about your credit scores, if you are using velocity banking, you're eliminating debt, which means your credit score is going to increase. So when I hear people that say you got to keep that credit card below 30% or it's going to kill your credit score, yeah, it will kill your credit score if you're not in a debt elimination process. But if you are in a debt elimination process, you're going to see your credit score go up because you're doing debt elimination, which means you're bringing the balances down. So anytime that you can keep your credit cards below 30%, then kudos. And yes, it will make your credit score better, faster. But realistically, when we're dealing with people that have extremely high credit card debt and a lot of personal loans and mortgages, the idea is get into the line of credit. And once you're in it, I could care less what my credit score is. I'm pretty sure right now my credit score is below 700. Why? Because I use my lines of credit. Because I am funding other investments, or I'm definitely funding my whole life policies for the infinite banking concept. And when I do that, guess what? The balance on my HELOC or whatever line of credit I'm using goes up. Goes up. I'm pretty sure it's over 70% right now because I just did some large chunks on different things. And guess what? My credit score went down. But I could care less. I already have the lines of credit. I already own the Money Max. So me knowing how velocity banking works, my credit score is just going to keep creeping right back up. It has no choice because I'm using all of my income to eliminate the debt and keep the balances low. So it will come back up. So please do not get focused on what your credit score is unless you are trying to get into a line of credit. If you are trying to get into a line of credit, a personal line, you're going to need about a 660 to 680 credit score. If you're going into a first lien HELOC instead of the mortgage, then you're going to need 700. So I've never stressed out one time about my credit score since I started doing velocity banking because it's an automatic. If you're doing velocity banking correctly, then you're going to see the credit score increase. And yes, it's going to take a hit. Mine's like a roller coaster. It's way up and then it'll go way down and it'll go way up. I don't care. I already have my lines of credit. I already have the money max. I don't care what the credit score, how it roller coasters. I expect that. Okay? So the idea is get focused on your strategy and let the credit score do what it's going to do. All right? I get that a lot. And I think people are so focused on, oh my gosh, my credit score dropped 20 points because I used my line of credit. Whoopity-doo. It'll go back up if you're doing velocity banking correctly. Okay? All right. So let's see. I have like $1,350 left to pay off a $9,500 personal loan. I have a HELOC to do it, but I'm scared because I'm trying to move and I know your credit score drops when you close an. Why would you close an account? Oh, paying off a personal loan? Oh my goodness. So if you're trying to move and you need your credit score high, then sure, leave it in there. It would take a month for that probably to show on your credit report. Not sure about that, but pretty sure. So the idea is that I would rather be out of debt because once you pay off the personal loan, your credit score will go back up and probably pretty quickly because you got out of the nasty personal loan. Okay. NFCU doesn't charge for the appraisal. Some banks do not charge for the appraisal. Some put the appraisal fee into the HELOC balance. So, but I have paid out of pocket. I did it actually for my last one, and I think it was $650. Hello, Donna Holmes. Hello, hello. I recently was approved for a HELOC with a lot of restrictions. You cannot withdraw for 15 days after your payment. Look at getting another line of credit because that's highly unusual. Highly unusual. I had one I worked with on Friday, I think it was, and she said that, what was it? Her HELOC. Oh, she had to email or call every time she wanted to make a withdrawal. Guys, before you sign into these lines of credit, find out how they work first. And if they're not going to serve you in a way that's going to be very convenient, then go to another bank. There's thousands of banks out there. Don't settle just because they're the first ones that will approve you. You should ask questions before you ever apply for a line of credit, especially about that convenience of how it works and if there's any fees charged, okay? When we are using velocity banking, do we even have to care? No, I don't. H. Dewey? H. Dewey Dunn? No, I don't care about my credit score. Hello, Canada's in the house. Is it better to make a larger chunk payment on a mortgage or a smaller chunk? It doesn't make any difference. It's whatever your cash flow can handle as to what you make for the chunk. My concern for my credit score is my short-term issue. My credit score is going to determine whether I'm approved for a new residence. I need to move next month and as soon as you pay off a debt, it drops. Yeah, if you need your credit score to stay up, just work on bringing your revolving lines of credit down. Okay. And don't do anything that you feel uncomfortable about. Okay. I can't tell you how often I say that in a day. If you're not comfortable, don't do it. If you're not comfortable with velocity banking, don't do it, because you're going to get yourself in a bigger mess if you don't understand how to use that line of credit. Just like with the Money Max, like I was saying, don't buy into something that you know you don't understand, or you get into it and you're like, oh my goodness, this is I don't know how to put my income in here, or I've had extra income, how do I put it in here? Get educated. There are coaches galore that can teach you how to use the Money Max, and tonight that training will answer your questions if you're stuck in your own system. Okay. I thought so too. Yeah. Lesson learned for me. Yeah, we have to go through some lessons. I picked up some lines of credit. Like, for example, I probably won't say the bank's name out loud, but I was using their credit card to do those transfers, into my checking. And I noticed that they were charging me a fee every time I did a transfer from the credit card into my checking with the same bank. And I was like, dude, I'm not going to be paying fees for something that I can get somewhere else. So I went to another credit union, picked up a credit card, and still do transfers back and forth when I need into my checking, and no fees. Okay. So ask banks what they'll do before you do it. I always feel better after watching your videos. You're so knowledgeable. I feel so much better. You're truly fantastic. Thank you so much, Jesse. I am not knowledgeable. Okay, maybe a little bit because of the Lord's good wisdom. But I failed algebra, so I have no rights to be doing math on YouTube. Okay. But it's simple math. And if I can do it, you can do it. So I appreciate that. I'm so glad you're getting encouraged. Blessings from Houston. Can't seem to raise my score. Have been implementing your recommendations and it just won't move. Beware of Synchrony Bank. They closed an account with a zero balance. Yes, you can't leave zero balances sitting for over maybe a couple of months. They will close those accounts. Okay, so be careful about that. I revolve my credit cards every month, every 3 months max, because they will close those accounts. Okay. So like I have a small subscription on several of the cards. So it automatically charges off every month. And then I pay the balance in full every month. Some of them are $14, just as long as you're revolving them. Okay. To keep them open and active. I hope that helps. Hello from Los Angeles, California. Oh my goodness, Daniel, you're in a very expensive city across the U.S. I hope you're well. Out of work, went through a divorce, living on an IRA before age, and am currently paying taxes. Can I still do velocity banking? Bless you, and bless you. Loaded question, okay? I can't give out any information that I don't know the numbers on. Okay. So I won't be answering that, but can I still do velocity banking? If you have cash flow, I don't see why you can't. Okay. I was going to make a payment twice a month to see how that goes. I love my Money Max. I use it every day. Awesome. How does the Money Max work, Donna? I was just saying, we're going to be having a webinar live that will be this coming Thursday, February the 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific. So if you want to join us, you'll go to VANNtasticfinances.com/max. That is for newbies. So I'm going to put newbies to Money Max. And that will be Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can get put on that list by going to my website, VANNtastic.com/max. If you want to join that webinar, once I get your contact form that lets me know you want to attend on Thursday, and I will send you a Zoom link back out so you can attend on Thursday, okay? I'm thinking of using Plastique to move money from credit card to an installment loan. If Plastique, is it decent? Or do you have a better one? Plastique, I did use. They've done I think they've changed up a lot since I used it. So I don't have any information about Plastique now. I did use it. I did play with that. I do know that they're very particular about things, and I don't even know if they finally started using visas or not. I think it had to be a MasterCard, but I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I just don't have any new information on that. Florida's in the house. We're trying to pay off our mortgage when we purchased a new home. Where do I find a coach to personally review and get started on a velocity banking program? Well, I just started the 4 weeks. We're going over so many great things in that class. So that's already started, though. We started last Saturday. I thought it was excellent. I do one-on-one coaching. That's also at VANNtasticfinances.com. If you want to go look at my schedule to see where you can get in, you're welcome to do that. But I'm not offering any master classes right now. We're actually getting ready for the April conference in Myrtle Beach. Super excited about that. That's going to be April the 16th, 17th, and 18th. The 16th being a reception party where we're having a Hollywood theme to where you can dress like your favorite actor, actress. Pretty excited about that. I think I'm going to go as Dolly Parton. Got to figure out how I'm going to do that exactly. But yeah, I hope you guys can attend in person, Myrtle Beach. That'll be so much fun. That's also VANNtasticfinances.com/April, because that is in April of 2026 this year. I'm so excited. Most HELOCs are prime +1. Sounds like another rate reduction. Yeah, I've heard that they're going to be reducing rates again. Now, if you are getting into a HELOC, home equity line of credit, for goodness sake, use it for debt elimination. And don't use it for remodeling or anything until you get your debt down to where you're comfortable, because we're entering lower rates. And you can't take or make an excuse that, oh, well, rates are really low. I'm going to really pile this HELOC up and, use it while I can. No. We are into debt elimination. So be working on debt elimination while these interest rates are low, so that when they raise them again, and guess what? It's a cycle, so they're going to raise them again. You are prepared and your debt will be out of the way, and you don't give a crap what they raise it to. They could raise them to 20% and I'm going to be just fine. But you have to do that debt elimination now while those rates are low. Okay, take advantage of that. Thanks for the advice. I'm not an advisor. I am just someone that's had lots and lots of experience with finances. Let's see. The balance was 0 for 1 month. Keep blessing God's people with the wisdom he gives you. Thank you so much. For them to close a line after 1 month, I've heard of that, but that's very, very, in synchrony, maybe. Yeah. Keep those revolving lines really, really revolving. I think I will have to work with you one-on-one. I'm understanding velocity banking a little, but there's some things I'm trying to figure out. I love the videos, though I've been watching for a while. Well, thank you so much for watching, Boss Chick. Nice. I have a feeling you're a boss. You go. Hello from Seattle. I'd like to learn more about the first lien. Who can I contact about the first lien HELOC? Is it advisable for a couple ready to retire? Totally based on your numbers. Okay. I don't advise people to go into the first lien HELOC. I just show you, if we're in on one-on-one, how those numbers work. I do have someone, I have a couple of lenders that do the first lien all-in-one. And let me get that number and I'll just put that in here. So you can reach out to my lender. And I'll just put his, you can text him. If you say VANNtastic sent you, he'll probably be more likely to answer quickly. But his number is in there for anybody looking for one. I put the lender that actually works across the U.S. Some don't work in every state like Texas or New York. He does. Okay. Let's see what else we got. My helicopter or HELOC is with my mortgage company. Do you think they'll notice if I put chunks on the mortgage from the HELOC? Good question. Good question. Don't know. I do know that a lot of mortgage companies, whoever holds your mortgage, will not allow you to do chunks from the HELOC. But I don't know about your bank or your mortgage company. And it's very unusual for a mortgage company to even let you get a HELOC. So, kind of surprised that the mortgage company let you get a HELOC. Oh, good. NFCU's reducing rates. Good. Love your content and all you do using LOC to pay off my car in 4 months. 4 months? You probably had 4 years left. I don't know. It's so awesome, isn't it? I will then switch my mortgage to a first lien once my car is paid off. You are awesome. It's awesome. You do know that you can revolve debt into the first lien as well as your mortgage, right? Weird question. My apologies in advance, but have you done a video on how to pay off a finance car using a HELOC? Yes. If you go to the playlist on this channel, there's one of the sections is car loans. Okay. I have several, but I know that one is in there. Hello from Texas. I'm closing on a house this Friday and will only have about 3% of equity. My plan is to start a line of credit, then second HELOC, then first. Is that a good progression? You could have bought that house with a first lien HELOC, Brandon. A lot of people don't know that, but you can purchase homes with a first lien. And they usually want to see, depending on the lender you use, 5 or 10% of reserves. That doesn't mean you have to bring it to the bank or at the table when you're signing. It just means they want to see through a 401k retirement something that you have 5 to 10% sitting in reserves on whatever amount that you actually get in your line of credit. I hope that makes sense. I encourage 2 of my friends to get a HELOC and their current interest rates are 7%. That's a pretty good rate for right now. Hopefully they'll go lower. I'm not understanding why having a savings account is not good. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Can anybody answer that question? It's just me. The reason that I never had a savings account is 1, I never had enough money to have a savings account. I never had any extra to put into a savings account. But when I did start getting extra, I put it into my line of credit to keep my balance low. And guess what? I can draw out of that line of credit when I do need cash in a hurry. Okay, so I'm killing two birds with one stone. I'm saving the money, but my saved money is going in to keep my balance low on my revolving line of credit. And then when I need it, I transfer the money over into my checking. I hope that makes sense. My HELOC is from a mortgage company, but not my first company. They have restrictions. Okay. Hello from Southern California. I'm currently using my savings to pay $10,000 every 8 to 9 months to my $544,000 mortgage at 2.99%. It's not as satisfying as most of your examples, but still worth it. Oh my gosh, I hate you're taking your savings to do that, but okay. The money in the HELOC is immediately available. Yes, Norlene, you have been watching videos. Good. Good. Yeah, any savings that I have left at the end of the month still doesn't go to debt elimination, but it goes into my HELOC because any line of credit, because I'm going to be chunking into my infinite banking whole life policies. Okay, so I have like this crazy system going on over here. Once you understand how to eliminate the debt, how to use the line of credit, then that line of credit does a lot more than debt elimination. It does the funding that you need for your retirement. And I think that's super beautiful. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. I dream VANNtastic now. That is awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Made a $25,000 chunk to the mortgage and it saved me $32,000 in interest. Crazy how this works, isn't it though? Bow hunter. I've hunted with a bow before, and I was actually had a couple of crossbows, and I was like using my scope, and I had changed it, so it was a new scope. And I was like, oh yeah, I really like this thing. And when I hit it, the scope was longer than I was used to, and it popped me in the eye. Yeah, and I had a black eye for a little while. So, but I do like the crossbows. I think they're fun. And if you're using that scope, you're going to hit it every time. It's awesome. Also, once your debts are paid off and your PLOC is filled back up, would you keep putting your paychecks in there, or do they not allow? No, they don't allow you. You have a limit. Okay. You have a limit, say, of 10, 50, 100, $200,000. So let's say you have a $10,000 limit and you have worked that balance down to zero. You cannot put more into that zero. You have to, that's where my infinite banking whole life policies come in, is I take after I've got the debt eliminated, or if I'm going to use, a line of credit to chunk, I just put my income back in there to work that down to zero, and then I'm ready for another chunk into my policies. Gosh, I hope that makes sense. Seemed very, very confusing. And I just worked with Chris and Noggle on another video. It's super great. It's also talking about business owners and how they can use the infinite banking concept. So I love that. Never have done a business video before for infinite banking. So I think you guys are going to like that, especially if you own a small business. Is a HELOC a second on the house, if that's the way you get it, Big Fern? I like ferns, by the way, so I'm not sure if you're referring to the plant or not, but I do like it. Second position HELOC means you have a mortgage. If you don't have a mortgage, but you have a HELOC, then you're in the first position, the first lien. But if you have a mortgage and you have a line of credit in this home equity line of credit, then you have a second position HELOC. Okay. You're very welcome. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to get this information out there. I want it spread because I want people to know the options that they have to stop the suffocating in debt. Everybody deserves to know. So if you have any friends or family, and if I have had no luck with this, telling friends and family, not even people in my area. But if you share it, you're opening up people's eyes, hopefully raising their mindset to another level, and they'll listen. But please don't be discouraged if they don't. Not everybody is privileged enough to be able to understand this information and get out of debt, and you're one of those lucky ones, okay? But not everybody can grasp it. So if I'm not a homeowner, nor do I have a life insurance or retirement, is infinite banking something I can use? It has nothing to do with being a homeowner. I got my policies, so I have 6 whole life and I have 4 IULs that were set up wrong for the infinite banking. So I got 6 of the whole life set up correctly. No, you don't need life insurance or retirement. You have to get these whole life policies so that you're able to use them I store cash. So kind of like a glorified savings account to me. And I can use it when I need to. That's what I like. Where do I go to the beginning? To the beginning of Velocity Banking? You can probably search my channel for Velocity Banking in elementary terms or something. So I have very basic videos like that. Good day to you from Texas. I am so new. Found you here on YouTube. I was so new to it too, you precious little Texan. It just takes a little bit of time to work your numbers. Okay. Understand how velocity banking works and then use your numbers in it and see if you don't win. If you're buying a house, do you tell your realtor you want to use a first lien HELOC because they have financial partners for mortgage loans they usually offer? So, Ramon, good question. I do know this. I have a daughter. I have 3, but I have a daughter who is in real estate. And when she sells through a certain builder, they require they require the agent to infer that they need to go through their mortgage company for that builder. Do you have to? No. But if you went to the mortgage company of the builder, or if you went to the builder, they're going to say, no, we only offer this. So I have first lien lenders that work in every state. So you may want to reach out to one of them to ask questions. But I think I answered your question. Let me see. The realtor, listen, oh my gosh, even the people that work at the banks, they don't even know what a first lien HELOC is most of the time. So do your own research and don't be asking anybody for anything because they're going to discourage you. And I swear it's so funny. And I'm talking about my daughter right now, but she'll say, but mom, it's only a 5% rate, or I got mine for 4.99. And you're like, okay, you're just uneducated and you don't understand what you're even saying. So I'm not mad at you. But wow, it's so sad when people don't understand that mortgage rate. It's so sad. It's super sad. If your mortgage has a minimum biweekly payment and your HELOC makes payment chunks to your mortgage, will your cash flow need to cover the chunk payments plus minimum? Yes. Yes. No. Oh, let me back up because you said, will your cash flow need to cover chunk payments plus minimum? No, your income is what you bring in, what they direct deposit into your checking account. Okay. That's your net income, meaning they've already taken the taxes and the stuff out of your check before you get it deposited into your checking account if you're on a W-2. Okay. So the cash flow is what you have left over after you pay all of your bills, all of your living expenses. So, all your bill payments, all of your mortgage payments, whatever, after all of that has been paid, from tithing to subscriptions to giving to dog food to your food to car insurance. I mean, the list is long of what we have to pay out every month. So after all of that's paid out, what do you have left over out of your income that was deposited? Back when I started, I had zero. Oh my gosh. I think I got to a point to where I had $50 a month one time. And do you know that $50 equals zero because there's something going to come up and take that? So your cash flow is what you're going to have. I'm sorry, I heard a noise in here and I'm like, what is that sound? Sounds like somebody is sawing on trees. Okay. So your cash flow is what's left over. That is what you use that's going to bring that balance down on your line of credit. Okay. You guys know I have the membership now, the YouTube membership for this channel. I think it's $9.99 or $12.99. I'm not sure, per month, but you get the extra videos in there of where we're talking about this a little more. And the previous webinars that I've had are in that YouTube membership. So, people pay to get into that stuff, and I'm not giving it away free because that's not fair. So we have the YouTube membership so that you can watch the things that have been taught at these webinars where we bring the partners together. I also, the 4-week class that I'm having, that's going to be uploaded as a recording to the YouTube members. Okay. So you can get some extra, more detailed training there sometimes, but I usually I don't release any of the previous webinars. You can't buy them in a package. The 4-week classes, you can't buy those after they're done, the recordings. So I have a kind of a storage that I do through the YouTube membership so that people can access those recordings there. And we do kind of go into a little more detail during those classes and stuff. So if you're interested in that, you can join the membership to check out those videos as well. You're welcome. You're welcome, Chica. Yes, I think it's very needed too. Chunk payment versus a minimum mortgage payment are not clear with. Oh my goodness. I don't. Okay, keep watching videos, Nilesy, because that will all become clear to you as you watch how the strategy works. I work a full-time job, a part-time job, and a 1099. Bless you, Mrs. Lashunda. I know this is the answer to my prayer. How can I schedule a consult due to the limited time to watch videos? I have watched a few. So VANNtasticfinances.com. You will see services that I offer there. It has my calendar, so you can schedule that way. But yeah, I mean, you can watch the videos and do it for free. Everything's in the videos, but I'll be glad to help if you need. Yes, make 100% sure you don't confuse it with a home equity loan. Very good. Why? Because the loan is set up on an amortization schedule. I want to tell you, that's the one I'm getting ready to do for the membership. The second mortgage, which you all can't see. You can't see it. Let me see. We're going to do this. How do you like the way I cleaned around my numbers? No, I'm funny. I'm so funny. Okay, so I cleaned the board and I didn't want to erase this because I've got to have my numbers. So if you see up here, this is a second mortgage. The balance is $13,700 with a $356 payment every month. Do you know how long she's going to be paying $356 on this loan? Second mortgage, same thing as a home equity loan, not a revolving line of credit, a loan. Do you know how long she's going to be paying on that? 10 years. 10 years. It's only $13,700. Does that tell you, oh, wait, what the hell? You mean that she's paying 10 years on less than $15,000? How much interest are they charging her? Let's do the math. So if you don't know how many months are in 10 years, do 10 times 12. Then that's 120, and then times 356, $42,720. Did that just make your head spin? Did that just like freak you out? Like, do they really do that stuff? Yes, they really do that stuff. Yes. So when you're looking at the interest rate on a mortgage of any type, first or second, which is what now her first is $407,000 at $2,400 a month. We're going to work on that next. But this video in the live membership is going to be talking about the second mortgage down. How long do you think that it's going to take her to pay this off using Velocity Banking? No, not 10 years. And I'm talking about $65,000 in debt, not just the 13,700. How long do you think that it's going to take her? 5 years? 3 years with Velocity Banking? No. 28 months. Wait, this was going to take her 10 years to pay off a second mortgage. 28 months? What is this, magic? No, it's math. It's math. And the math in an amortization schedule tells you you are not paying 7%. You're not even paying 3.3%. You're not paying 2.99% in a mortgage. So understand, get educated on what kind of tool you're using at the bank. So she's going to go from 10 years on one to 28 months for everything. That's the beauty of Velocity Banking. Because, Julie, she's in her 20s. So once you understand how the bank works, and you don't have to trust me. Please don't trust me. If you can't do math, stay with making minimum payments. I'm not an advisor. Turn my channel off and go somewhere else. I do not want you to trust me. You go learn. You go get educated on how the bank works. Do not trust me. You do the legwork and learn this for yourself. And if it doesn't make sense to you, then for goodness sake, do not do this. I'm just showing you how I did it. In a 10th of the time it was going to take me making minimum monthly payments. Okay? I'm on fire right now. I see the light at the end of the tunnel because of you. Thank you a million times over. It is my pleasure. It's my pleasure to share. It's my pleasure to share. Let's see here. If I want to add onto my house, what's the best option? I do have a mortgage. That's only debt and auto. So your best option may be something like the first lien HELOC, so you can get all of the equity, depending on the state you're in, but up to 89% usually. Then they pay off your mortgage into the line, and you have the remaining equity available to do what you need to do. But please do the math. See how fast you're going to be able to get that paid off. Okay. Oh, my own mother doesn't do this. I'm not judging people. I don't care. I mean, I really don't care. If you don't care to get educated, then I can't care about the pain you're suffering financially. It doesn't come into my space at all. It doesn't, my mother's debt does not make me sad. My cousin's debt does not make me sad. I'm not stressed over their debt. I don't even feel any pain when they tell me, oh my gosh, I'm paycheck to paycheck. Then watch a video. I'm not being rude. That's not, I'm not like Sister Satan because I feel like I don't feel people's pain with their debt. I give options all over this channel. If you don't want to follow it, if, my friends and family don't want to follow it, if my daughters don't want to follow it, I'm not mad at you. But when you come to me talking about, oh, I'm suffocating in debt, I don't know what to do. Yes, you do. There's videos, over 1,500 videos on this channel alone showing you how to get out of debt. So if you want to suffer, then stay in there. I'm not mad at you. But I'm saying if you really want to get educated, you can. And it's going to be super exciting for you when you do. Okay, I'm going to jump off of here. I'm so super excited to have been able to have spent a little bit of time with you here. Again, the Money Max, that training for owners is tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time. That is with the Money Max University on YouTube. Feel free to join that if you own the Money Max already and let them answer some questions you may have. If you want to see what the Money Max is in a demo, join me and Emily on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. That is at VANNtastic.com/max to sign up for that. All right. I hope you guys have a terrific week. Make it a good one. Get determined that you're going to end this absolute suffering that we can do with debt and dreading to go to work, because what's the point? I don't make enough to pay my bills, so why go? Right? Get out of that. It's easy. Like and share this video so other people can learn. Subscribe if you haven't to push the channel so we can reach more people. All right. I'm super excited that you guys are super excited about your life. Yeah. You know what they say, you can bring a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. Amen. Amen. So thank you guys. I hope that you have a lot of, name a resource for learning. The channel teaches you everything. I don't know if I read that wrong or what, but please keep studying the channel, and that alone will give you some super ideas. But there's other gurus out there, so go find what makes you comfortable with and get excited. Okay, get excited. Your channel has opened to dealing with my financial. This is very effective. Oh, it's a very effective strategy. Thank you so much for sharing that, Rainey. Thank you, Christy. Every time I watch your videos, I learn something new. Well, I am so thankful for that. Thank the good Lord, because without him, I never would have come across this wisdom, and you probably wouldn't either. So when the student is ready, the teacher will arrive. So that ought to tell you that you're in the right place and you can get excited about your money again. All right, guys, you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.